sailed the midnight sea from Earth to Alpha Phi. Seen flame gems on Aldebaran, met rocks that were alive. But soon I came to realize as world to world I roamed, that nowhere in the galaxy could really be my home. So call the navigator, set the course and go. We've stars and planets to explore, my wild eye tells me so. Beneath the metal decking I can hear the engine sigh, and all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by. The nights are long between the stars and lonely too for me. I wonder how I might have fared with home and family. But the bonds of friendship I have formed will last my lifetime through. Security is not for me, my dreams are all of you. So call the navigator, set the course and go. We've stars and planets to explore, my wild eye tells me so. Beneath the metal decking I can hear the engine sigh, and all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by. I've seen a million beauties and I've known a million fears, and life is what I found between the laughter and the tears. Still I will sail the last frontier through worlds both tame and wild, and marvel at their strangeness with the wonder of a child. So call the navigator, set the course and go. We've stars and planets to explore, my wild eye tells me so. Beneath the metal decking I can hear the engine sigh, and all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by. And all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by. Yeah, all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by.
Jamie Dawson was the captain of the Christian and her crew, and he flew and fought the Christian in the War of '82. Now the Christian was the tightest ship between here and Charlemagne, and the crew of Jamie Dawson was the same. On patrol in Sector 7, keeping watch on Barbara's son, they would jump by 3 like cruisers, though they weren't a match for 1. As they came to general quarters and they sent out the alarm, Dawson's crew was sure they finally bought the farm. No one living saw that battle, though the fleet was quick to leave. When they reached the site they found a scene no sane man could believe. Dead in space lay 3 like cruisers, cut to ribbons all around, but no sign of Dawson's Christian could be found. There are stories of the Dutchman, the Celeste and Barnum's bride. There are stories of the horseman and the lady at his side. But the tale that chills my spirit more because I know it's true is the tale of Jamie Dawson and his crew. Yes, the tale of Dawson's Christian and her crew. I was was second mate on Harris Dream, a freighter on the line. We were shipping precious metals to the colony on 9. It was on the second watch of that most uneventful flight when the pirate ships appeared out of the night. Now to me there was no question, for they had us 4-1, and you can't fight dirty pirates when your freighter has no gun. So we stood by to be boarded by a party and unseen, when another ship appeared upon our screen. First we thought it just a pirate, but the vector was all wrong. Then we thought it might be rescue, but the signal wasn't strong. When she didn't answer hailing, we all felt an unknown dread, for we saw her shields were up and glowing red. Now the courage of that single ship is shown by very few, but we never knew a ship could fly the way the stranger flew. Never fearing guns or numbers, like a tiger to its meat, the stranger then attacked the pirate fleets. And the stranger's beams burned brighter than all beams I'd seen before, and the stranger's shields were harder than the heart of any whore. As the battle rent the ether while we watched and shook our heads, the pirate ships were cut to bloody shreds. The pirate ships were cut to bloody shreds. Just as quickly as it started, then the fighting was all done, for the pirate fleet was shattered and the stranger's ship had won. Though we tried to call and thank her, not an answer could we draw. Then she dropped her shields and this is what we saw. There were 30 holes clear through her and a gash along one side, and we knew that when it happened that no crew were left alive. For the markings all said Christian, deep inside us each one knew 'twas the tomb of Jamie Dawson and his crew. Now instead of flying off, the stranger then began to fade, first the hull and then the bulkheads as we cowered there afraid. For as the Christian disappeared, the last to slip from view were the bones of Jamie Dawson and his crew. Yes, the bones of Jamie Dawson and his crew. There are stories of the Dutchman, the Celeste and Barnum's Pride. There are stories of the horseman and the lady at his side. But the tale that chills my spirit, and I swear to God it's true, is the tale of Jamie Dawson and his crew. Yes, the tale of Dawson's Christian and her crew.
Raise up the aft shields, train the weapons too. Set the mighty starship's course and keep her straight and true. The deeds we do here, historians extol. We are the crews that keep the peace with the border patrol. I joined the service when I was a girl of 17. I wouldn't trade the years I've spent nor all the worlds I've seen. I've watched my shipmates come and go and wept while others died. There are no words to tell you everything I feel inside. Oh, raise up the aft shields, train the weapons too. Set the mighty starship's course and keep her straight and true. The deeds we do here, historians extol. We are the crews that keep the peace with the border patrol. My home is just a memory, a place I see in dreams. Far from this ship which sails the stars, far from my life it seems. But when I'm standing on the watch alert for battle's fire, I know that the explorer's life is all that I desire. Raise up the aft shields, train the weapons too. Set the mighty starship's course and keep her straight and true. The deeds we do here, historians extol. We are the crews that keep the peace with the border patrol. A wanderer I'll always be, no world can hold me back. My heart will always urge me on to forge another track. I'll fight injustice where it thrives, face hardship without fear. Hold high the knowledge that I found in this final frontier. Oh, raise up the aft shields, train the weapons too. Set the mighty starship's course and keep us straight and true. The deeds we do here, hear historians extol. We are the crews that keep the peace with the border patrol. Oh, raise up the aft shields, train the weapons too, set the mighty starship's course and keep her straight and true. The deeds we do here historians extol. We are the crews that keep the peace with the border patrol. We are the bold and rakish crew of the good ship Manatee. They say that we're the strangest bunch to sail the starry sea. Or if your engines match our warp and catch us if you can, we'll drink a brew and journeys through round old Aldebaran. All hail the Manatee, heads up she's passing by. They say she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly. Our captain built a model of the palace at Versailles across the recreation room, and no one could get by. One night she heard what sounded like a mighty cannon's roar. Versailles had blown to kingdom come, as had the rec room floor. All hail the Manatee, heads up she's passing by. 'Tis true she is the strangest ship that ever tried to fly. The astrogator has a way with plants of every type. She nurtures alien vegetables and cooks them when they're ripe. She had a vegan orchid once that ate the captain's cat, then terrorized the ship's exec until she squashed it flat. All hail the Manatee, heads up she's passing by. 'Tis true she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly. Our engineer's a singer, but don't tell the captain that. He writes his verses in the hold and wears a cowboy hat. And sometimes on the first watch one can hear a mournful voice sing lonesome country tunes. I wish he'd offer us a choice. All hail the Manatee, heads up she's passing by. 'Tis true she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly. Our doctor is a curious soul and operating man. He takes out spleens to Beethoven and Cacciatorian. One day he grabbed a crewman who had called the doc a quack. We couldn't look at what he took. Oh, doc, please put it back. All hail the Manatee, heads up she's passing by. 'Tis true she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly. Yeah, all hail the Manatee, heads up she's passing by. 'Tis true she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly.
We beamed down to the planet with the captain and the doc. It must have been a dozen strong we were. But the captain saw those women and it must have been a shock. He turned as green as his first officer. There was plenty of protection, we had phasers everyone, and security was armed from head to toe. But the captain just suggested we should beam back to the ship, and he told security that they could go. Someone tell the captain he's wanted on the bridge. We've got another message from a planet out in space. There's some poor group of women left abandoned to their fate, and you know that to their rescue we must race. Now wait right there, the doctor said, I really do believe this is the day that I've been waiting for. So I think I'll hang around for just a little while and see what these charming little ladies have in store. I didn't understand until I took a look around at the children who were running through the place. Tall and short and fat and thin, but I noticed everyone bore the spitting image of our captain's face. Someone tell the captain he's wanted on the bridge. we've got another message from a planet out in space. There's some poor group of women left abandoned to their fate, and you know that to their rescue we must race. The doctor only smiled as all the ladies made their claims. Maternity suits rained from every hand. And he said, I'm a country doctor, not a magistrate, but I'll tell you just exactly what I can. So the captain stood there nervously and looked from face to face with every shred of dignity he had. And the doctor choked his laughter as he checked them one by one, then solemnly pronounced, Jim, you're dad. Someone tell the captain he's wanted on the bridge. We've got another message from a planet out in space. There's some poor group of women left abandoned to their fate, and you know that to their rescue we must race. By the time we got back to the ship, the crew had heard the news, and we tried our best to cover every smirk. But the captain sat there fuming with those papers in his hand, and he shouted, everybody back to work. Well, the captain eats on board now whenever we're on leave, and you never see him going into town. Child support has left him broke, he can't risk another kid, and his yeoman will not let him live it down. Someone tell the captain he's wanted on the bridge. We've got another message from some planet out in space. There's some poor group of women left abandoned to their fate, and you know that to their rescue we must race. And you know that to their rescue we must race.
We were 38 crewmen on Transport 18. The hour was late and the talk was obscene, when the raiders streaked down and their bright lasers cut some 20-odd holes through her steel-plated gut. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. All the engines were dead and the life system shot, and the ship leaking air like the steam off a pot. When the crew was accounted and all damage told, the last airtight chamber was the 5th cargo hold. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. So we yelled SOS with our beacons and flares, and we ran for the hold by the last standing stairs. We sealed off the ports and we gave a great cheer when we found that the cargo was 12 tons of beer. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. We were fairly well mellowed when our answer came through by a transporter sparkle and a brief flash of blue. 'Twas a space-suited Navy man, calm and correct, though his green pointed ears weren't quite what you'd expect. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. He raised one long eyebrow as he noted our fun, and he calmly announced that our troubles weren't done, for his ship was off fighting the raiders alone, so we'd have to reach safety somehow on our own. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. Then he said, there's a space station not far at all. We could reach in 2 days at a jet-powered crawl. Now jets are quite simple, we could build one from here, just a valve line to the surface from one tank of beer. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. So we cheered our salvation and we mourned for the brew as we sealed on the pipes as he showed us to do. Then we opened the fuel line with a ship aimed toward home, and we rode to the station on a long wake of foam. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. So at last, when the ship came to take us in tow, just an hour from the station with 3 tanks to go, we drank up the fuel and we're feeling no pain when the Navy man left us with a look of disdain. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. So cheer for us sailors riding in on the foam. We were drunker than lords by the time we got home.
Sleek and clean, the death machines stand ready on the decks. Inside, the men who fight in them run through their final checks. Absorbed in it, the pilots sit, their lives unmoved by hate. For those that fly, make others die and never touch their fate. He just flies the bomber, he never sees their eyes when the hell comes down. He just flies the bomber. Inbound trip without a slip, the shuttle drops them free. They set the track for their attack, the backup comms agree. Now trim the jet and don't forget to plot in the return. It's time to go for down below, the planet that must burn. He just flies the bomber, he never sees their eyes when the hell comes down. He just flies the bomber. Make the run so quick it's done, and death screams toward the ground. But moving fast, they're so far past, they never hear the sound. A final turn is from the stern, they watch the mushrooms grow. They fill the night with deadly light and kill the world below. He just flies the bomber, he never sees their eyes when the hell comes down. He just flies the bomber. Back aboard the shuttle, there'll be time enough to think what they've done. They'll find their antiseptic war won't leave them with the place that they can run. Nowhere to run. No deep, untroubled sleep for one with such a debt. And guilt alone will not atone, nor let a soul forget. Those cries and screams, they're not just dreams, imagination's lies. Goddamn the whore, the bitch you whore, you killers from the skies. He just flies the bomber, he never sees their eyes when the hell comes down. He just flies the bomber.
Just about the time I thought I'd seen it all, I met you for the very first time. I walked up to you and I said how do, and watched those highbrow brows of yours climb. It wasn't you were mean, you were just a little green, right of headed straight for the door. But instead I figured, hell, I'll hang around for a spell, 'cause that's what friends are for. Now I thought I knew a little about anatomy and medicine, until the first time you took sick. It turned out you had 2 hearts and double eyelids, and for blood you had this slow-moving green sort of ick. And the time you went blind and the time you lost your mind, well, they made me a little bit sore. But I put you back together, cause I figured what the heck, that's what friends are for. You know an awful lot about computer positronics, walking mathematical text, but you weren't exactly fluent in emotional dynamics or interactions with the opposite sex. And when I pointed out you needed to let out some emotion, a logic even you couldn't ignore, you just looked a bit annoyed and you said, "Oh really, doctor? But that's what friends are for." And when I called you a long-eared, green-blooded half-human, the son of a transistorized elf, well, I didn't mean it wrong. Hell, there have been times I've been so worried about you, you had me talking to myself. Yeah, sure, we've had our fights, but nothing worse than you'd find in a global thermonuclear war. But I'm an easygoing fella, so I figure what the hell, that's what friends are for. We've been together about 20 long years, been where no man has gone before. So with a little bit of logic and a little southern charm, well, that's what friends are for.
When we pulled into Argo Port in need of R&R, the crew set out investigating every joint and bar. We had high expectations of their hospitality, but found too late it wasn't geared for spacers such as we. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. The captain's tastes were simple, but his methods were complex. We found him with 5 partners, each of a different world and sex. The shore police were on the way, we had no second chance. We beamed him up in the nick of time and the remnants of his pants. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our engineer would yield to none at putting down the brew. He outdrank 7 space marines and a demolition crew. The navigator didn't win, but he outdrank almost all. And now they've got a shuttlecraft on the roof of City Hall. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our proper cool first officer was drugged with something green and hauled into an alley where he suffered things obscene. He sobered up in sick bay and he's none the worse for wear, except he somehow taught the bridge computer how to swear. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. The head nurse disappeared a while in the major dope bazaar, buying an odd green potion guaranteed to cause ponfar. She came home with no uniform and an oddly cheerful heart, and a painful way of walking with her feet a yard apart. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our Lady of Communications won a ship-wide bet by getting into the planet's main communications net. Now every time someone calls up on an Argo telescreen, the flesh is there, but the clothes they wear are nowhere to be seen. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our doctor loves humanity, his private life is quiet. The shore police arrested him for inciting hordes to riot. We found him in the city jail, locked on and beamed him free, intact except for hickeys and 6 kinds of VD. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our helmsman loves exotic plants, and the plants all love him too. He took some down on leave with him, and we wondered what they'd do, till the planetary governor called and swore upon his life that a gang of plants entwined his house and then seduced his wife. And we're banned from Margot, everyone, banned from Margot just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. A gang of Klingons landed and nobody seemed to care. They stomped into the nearest bar to announce that they were there. Half our crew was busy inside and invited them to play, but the Klingons only looked at us and turned and ran away. And we're banned from Margot, everyone, banned from Margot just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our crew is Starfleet's finest and our record is our pride. And when we play we tend to leave a trail a mile wide. We're sorry about the wreckage and the riots and the fuss. At least we're sure that planet won't be quick forgetting us. And we're banned from Margot, everyone, banned from Margot just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Wonder